Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. Got another Pokemon Pocket video for you. Coming at you with a deck that took us all a little bit by surprise when it won a tournament with over 1,500 people in it. It's old news by this point. I definitely should have reported on it last week, but I was taking a week off from content creation just to enjoy the holidays. But anyway, Brock. Brock is a very real thing in post-Mythical Island meta, and has been pretty consistently doing well in tournaments. It wasn't just a one-off, like, fluke. So we're playing 2 Geodude, 2 Graveler from Mythical Islands, 2 Golem from Mythical Islands, 2 Druddigon, 1 Hitmonlee, 1 Marshadow, 2 Pokeball, 1 Potion, 2 Brock, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Leaf, and then 1 Giovanni. So what makes this deck viable now? Well, it's, I think, 2 things, right? The first is Druddigon. Druddigon we have already played in Gyarados, and you're gonna see in other decks on this channel. I think even the next deck I have lined up, we played Druddigon, or one of the next ones, but anyway. Yeah, this is a phenomenal Pokemon to use as a Stoller for setups. This can be for the Gyarados deck, of course, like we already showed, but in general, it's great. It's got 100 HP, it's got no weakness, it can deal 20 damage back whenever it gets attacked. Phenomenal Stoller overall. The second major thing is Golem itself. Mythical Island did bring a new Golem, again, as well as a new Graveler. The new Graveler it's not nothing, but the new Golem is mainly what we're looking at. It's got the same HP as the Genetics Apex Golem. I think they're both 160, but as opposed to dealing 150 to the opponent and then, what, 30 or 50? Some amount of damage to itself with a double edge attack. The Mythical Islands Golem has Guard Press, which only deals 120, not 150, but rather than taking recoil, you actually prevent the next 30 damage done to you on your opponent's next turn, which is huge. That's a lot better. It's true that sometimes the difference between 120 and 150 is enough to knock stuff out, but I don't think that's the case often enough for it to be worth it to play Old Golem. I'm not going to say pretty much ever, but kind of pretty much ever. Yeah, the new Golem is just so good. So unbelievably good. So, it does require 4 energy for that attack, which of course means you need to set up. And again, that's why we have the Druddigon here. Our opponent is on some sort of a Moltres deck. I think the only other Pokemon we really see on the bench are Rapidash, which I don't think you really need to Inferno Dance set up for, but I'm assuming their opponents may be playing other fire Pokemon, like Arcanine possibly, that might more require the Moltres to kind of help set up with Inferno Dance. Ooh, landing 3 heads here. It's pretty rough, but I mean, it would be normally if there was like a Charmander or an Arcanine on the board, but again, when it's just Rapidashes, I don't really feel as threatened. Throwing down the Marshadow here. So Marshadow is another card we're going to talk about in upcoming videos, because Marshadow is actually a very good Pokemon. You see Marshadow in a lot of post-Mythical Island fighting decks. This one, the Aerodactyl deck, and then really, the Aerodactyl deck, though, is just a variant of Marshadow aggro, which you also just see out there, like Marshadows, Hitmonlees, and Farfetch'd. Those are also all part of the Aerodactyl deck. So Marshadow aggro is a very real thing. Definitely do not sleep on that. Now here, I don't even have to put the energy on the Graveler for this turn, because next turn, I can evolve into Golem, put the energy on for turn, and then use Brock to get my 4th energy right there. Opponent has started to attack the Druddigon here, but it is definitely too little too late, as we are looking to get set up here. Yeah, just Rapidashes and Moltres here, which, it's the new Rapidash, it's the Mythical Island one. Alright, another Heat Blast on Druddigon. It's going to deal another 20 back. Does it... Oh, no, it actually does. Well, the first 20 damage mattered. The second didn't. We just need to get Moltres down to 120 to be able to one-shot it. Alright, I do have... I put in the Marshadow. Interesting. Oh, I wonder... I guess because we can knock it out with the Marshadow. But I wonder if I was a little worried about the Golem getting 2-shot. By the Rapidashes. Well, I don't think it would, right? Because even if they land 2 heads, that's 200 total damage, but the Guard Press prevents... Oh, no, I think it would get 2-shot even with the Guard Press, and I think that's why I put in the Marshadow here, which would make sense. Yeah, because 160, they land, and it uses the attack, right? They land to heads, they deal a total of 70, put it down to 90. No, wait, that would be enough. Because then I would Guard Press again. Okay, so I think I did that math wrong last time. But it's not going to super matter. Another very nice thing about this deck is we don't actually play any EXs, which means our Pokemon... Oh, wait, it was Charizard. There's a Charmander right there. I forgot about that. We don't actually play any Pokemon EX, which means our opponent can only gain knockouts 1 point at a time. That actually matters. That matters quite a bit. The difference between your opponent needing to knock out 3 versus 2 Pokemon is a lot, so... Our opponent whiffed on the coin flip here on the Marshadow. Even if they hadn't, though, we would still be all good. But what I'm basically going to do here is I'm just going to, retreat out the Marshadow. I could even use the Leaf, which is actually what I'm going to do here, and save on my energy. Yeah, we're going to just retreat out the Marshadow, throw in the Golem, and then we can one-shot the Rapidash and take the game here. Oh, we also only needed 1 more point. So, yeah, jeez. We definitely did not have to put in Marshadow. We could have just put in the Golem there. Maybe I wasn't sure if I had it in the hand or not, because I saw myself trying to check it, but I wasn't able to. Although I didn't use the toggle to do that. Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter. So, unlike most videos, which are 3 games, this one's only going to be 2, because this second game coming up here was actually quite a bit of a doozy, and it was a Brock mirror match. So, nice back and forth, and a mirror at that. We will definitely take that action. So, hopping right on into this next game here. And we're going second. Lovely. Love to see it. It is still funny to me. This is like the one card game I play. I'm sure there are others out there, but this is the one that I play where you do actually want to go second. Yeah, as soon as I saw that other Geodude, I was like, aha, hello, friend. Yeah, it's very nice to see this deck doing well. You know, before Mythical Island came out, I probably would have called, and I think it probably just was, Brock the worst supporter in the game. Not that Brock is a bad card, it's just that Brock decks didn't really do a lot. In fact, the most that we saw Brock get used in a competitive sense was actually to get energy on an Onix, which itself was more of a stall setup for, like, Machamp EX, right? At least that's where I saw Brock used before Mythical Islands, but... I mean, of course, there were people out there playing the Golem deck, but again, I really don't think old Golem was that great. Especially not compared to the new one. Alright, so they're going to throw down a Leaf so they can swap out this Geodude and put the Druddigon in the main. I would ideally like to be doing the same on the next turn as they're setting up their Golem. I also would like to be setting up the, doing the same on the next turn, right? So, what am I looking to draw here? Leaf... Graveler, Professor's Research. It's about any combination of those would be good. And we did get the Graveler, so that's pretty nice. I think I'm going to pretty much, end up evolving the main slot Geodude. And I ultimately decided to use the Lunge Out, I think. Did I use it? I was going to say, I don't think I should use it here. Okay, good, I didn't. Because it's never going to matter, right? Like... So actually what I really want to top deck now is Brock. Yeah, that's never really going to matter, right? The 40 damage here. It's pretty much one shot or bust. Alright, so they're still setting up their Graveler down there too. I'm going to play Hitmonlee. I do want to evolve into Golem. Might seem like you might want to wait a turn because you're like, oh, the Golem can't attack, and now they know I have it. But they can also red card, or... potentially, I don't really know what scenario they would be able to one-shot. I was going to say potentially one-shot the Graveler, but they would need to play Leaf and Brock in order to be able to do that, right? So yeah, that. Also, they're setting up their second Graveler here, which is a little confusing to me. I would think you would want to keep putting energy on the one Graveler, but maybe not. Alright, so we're going to draw a couple of cards here. We find the Brock as well as a Marshadow. I actually wish I had room to play that Marshadow right now. I probably should not have played both Geodude at the start of the game. Alright, so we're going to knock out the Druddigon in one shot. Even though we Guard Press, we still take 20, because Guard Press says you take 30 less damage from attacks. But you still take the same amount of damage from abilities, of course. So it's nice to get their Druddigon out of the way here, too. Not only just, well, to get it out of the way, but also because it gives us a point. And being up a point in a scenario like this is... Very, very good. Especially in a game where neither of us have EXs, it's gonna be a grindy game, right? Because we both have to get 3 knockouts to win instead of just 2. Okay, so it looks like they started setting up their second Graveler because they were actually anticipating that this first one was going to get, or that one of them was going to get knocked out, which is actually pretty smart on their part. You'll notice I used the potion on the Golem, that way my opponent could not go evolve into Golem, Brock, and then one-shot my Golem, right? Well, I guess they wouldn't be able to because of the guard press anyway, but it still felt better just to be safe here. I could have saved it, though, now that I'm thinking about it. It's debatable. There's pros and cons. Okay, so now they're throwing out their Golem here. Thankfully, we're 2 points up. But what I think I might... Okay, so they are going for the guard press here. Yeah, that's gonna knock me down to 50. See, here's the thing, though. I don't think it really behooves me to keep my Golem in right now. So... what I might even end up doing is using this leaf and then retreating out into the Druddigon. We are going to put an energy on the other... See, this is where I would really have liked Marshadow. Because if I had Marshadow, I could have been building that up. And then I could have... Well, let me do the math here for a second. So we guard press them down to 60. They guard press back, take 30 less, 100. Yeah, I could have... Yeah, if I had room to play this Marshadow, I could have just... actually just KO'd this Golem on the next turn, but... after they attack me back, of course. That potion would have made the... Well, no, because we have Giovanni in hand. Oh, but they have 2 potions. Okay, that would have made the difference. Yeah, so that double potion is actually pretty nasty here. As we lose our Golem. But, again, we're 2 points up right now. So that puts us in a pretty good, pretty advantageous position. As mentioned a couple of times, I really just need to KO one more Pokemon and then we're good here. So I'm going to throw out the Marshadow, throw a Fighting Energy on it, and we're in a really good spot right now, actually. Oh, I don't have Giovanni in hand. That's a Brock. Never mind. I thought that was a Giovanni. But we are actually in a good spot here because if we do find a Giovanni... Oh, they're retreating. Oh, interesting. I forgot they did that. I was going to say, you know, they one-shot Druddigon, go down to 80 HP, take 30 less damage. We swap in Marshadow. Of course, 100 minus 30 is 70, but with Giovanni, it'd be 110 minus 30 is 80, which would be enough to KO Golem in that hypothetical scenario. But it looks like they're using their Hitmonlee to go after my Geodude here instead. Now, ooh, I actually didn't think about this either. What is the wording on Marshadow? Does the active Pokemon have to be knocked out in order to get the revenge? I don't remember, actually, off the top of my head. Because if that were the case, it wouldn't even really matter if Geodude got knocked out here. We could leaf out the Druddigon, swap in Marshadow, revenge, one-shot the Hitmonlee. But... yeah, this is a really interesting spot to be in. You can tell I'm definitely thinking here. What I might end up doing is switching into the Hitmonlee here. I think that's actually exactly what I end up doing. Yeah, we definitely... I think we swap out Druddigon pretty much no matter what. And then, yeah, okay, looks like we're bringing in Hitmonlee. And we're stretch-kicking the Golem to weaken it. That way it can't come in and the... Yeah, so now the Golem's at 70, and they're out of potions because they used both already. Now, even if Golem comes in and knocks out Hitmonlee, Marshadow can come in and knock out Golem. I'm trying to think... Well, because also they only have 1 point. So even if they do keep Hitmonlee in and try to keep going after Geodude, I have time to also get in with my Hitmonlee. It's a very weird scenario we're in now. This is a very, I wonder how often the mirror match ends up playing out this way. Alright, they're thinking. I mean, again, this is a difficult scenario. This is actually one of the better, I really wanted to keep this game, even if it was a lot of us just kind of sitting and thinking, because this is one of the, if not the, I think this might just be the most back and forth Pokemon Pocket game I've played so far. Alright, so they're going to put another energy on their Marshadow. Go for another Stretch Kick on the Geodude, knocking it down to 10 HP. All right, we find a Graveler. That is such a good top deck here. Oh, that is a phenomenal top deck. It means that I can evolve, not only keeping my Pokemon alive for one more turn, but now I can also threaten to go into my second Golem, use the Brock, and then just, like, win. I think that's actually how this game ends up closing out. Spoiler alert, but you might have already been able to see that. Yeah, because the Hitmonlee only has a retreat cost of 1, so it can just retreat with the 1 energy it's got right now. Yeah, they're putting energy on their Golem, but they also know that if they bring their Golem in and KO my Hitmonlee, I just bring in Marshadow. So yeah, they're going to continue to stretch kick on my Graveler, knocking it down to 10 once again, but again, we are going to evolve the Graveler into a Golem. Can then use Brock on said Golem. Put our energy for a turn on the Golem. And here we go. Yep, retreat into our second Golem, which is already almost half KO'd. And we're going to take out their Hitmonlee and win the game. So that was a true grind game. We almost went through both of our Golems there. But we were able to take that dub after a very nice back and forth there. So yeah, this deck was awesome. I had a blast playing it, and it's quite good. I think it's a very, very solid Tier 2 deck. Speaking of tiers, I do kind of want to make a tier list for this game. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that. But that's going to be all for this video. So thanks as always for watching. We got some more Mythical Islands decks coming up here soon. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see some more of that action. But for now, this is Hexlex signing out, hoping that you have a fantastic day.